A wonderful Wednesday to you. I leave out wild this week because maybe you're not feeling so spry following what happened Saturday in Baltimore, Maryland, but you are still here live inside the Tier 4 studio in Morgantown, West Virginia. I am Mike Casazza from the Charleston Daily Mail, and you are here for the Wednesday walkthrough, the best video blog since my last video blog. I say that because Saturday, noon, ESPN, Mountaineer Field, West Virginia's first game since her last one, and that last one was dotted with a whole bunch of worst loss since this time, first shutout loss since that time, fewest amount of yards since this day, most embarrassing moment since, and you fill in those blanks, and generally not a good feeling for the spectator. Remember last season, West Virginia 5-0, had just gone to Austin, Texas, beating one of the most storied programs in college football, and they get pantsed in Lubbock, Texas against Texas Tech. Lost 5 in a row. You can't tell me that the nature of that first loss and the blow to the confidence that was dealt didn't bleed over into 2, 3, 4 games after that, because West Virginia was a rattled team. Close to winning some of them, I think, but I think there were times that when the going got tough, West Virginia got going in the wrong direction, and the constitution of this team is something to check on this week. A lot of players were on that team last season. There were a lot of new players. There were a lot of new personalities. But you still have a team that is largely composed of veterans from last season on offense and defense and also the sideline. And you wonder how much an early deficit Saturday or a bad loss Saturday might affect the rest of the season. Is this a team that can turn one loss into 5 or 7 or 8? Or is this a team that figures a way out to win a game or maybe be really, really competitive and, wow, could have won that game, and the rest of the season takes on a much different look as you ready for a trip to Baylor next week? We don't know. What we do know right now is that the bad news for West Virginia is this is their worst matchup of the season, I think almost without question, which for me is always weird when you consider that West Virginia played Oklahoma already this year. Offense, defense, and special teams, the Cowboys are very good, and as nose guard Shaq Rowell said today, I quote, "The things that we do well, they do a little bit better," and that's true. Oklahoma State, very good offensive team, efficient, very balanced. They've thrown 2 more passes than they have run the ball. Their yardage is about even. They have 23rd down conversions, 10 by the run, 10 by the pass. 10 players have accounted for their 12 offensive touchdowns. You kind of get where I'm going. They spread it around, which is their definition of balance, not the dispersion of yards, but the touches and who contributes to moving the ball. And they're good. They're good with the run, they're good with the pass. Best offensive line in the Big 12. J.W. Walsh, a lot of passing yardage, 70% efficiency or completion percentage, very efficient, only 1 interception. And he brings an option element to the offense that they did not have with Clint Shelf. He has weapons, too. Jeremy Smith, he can run the ball. Maybe not Joseph Randle, but he's a bigger guy. He bangs it inside. He can move the ball. Their receivers really, really good, too. Josh Stewart ridiculed West Virginia's defense last year. He had a 46-yard touchdown run, 13 catches, 170-plus yards, 2 touchdowns. He's back. He's better than ever. He's really one of the best and most entertaining ball-and-hand guys in the country. One to keep an eye on, though, is West Virginia's matchup problem this week, if it gets to going this way, if Oklahoma State maybe chooses. They have a big tight end / inside receiver hybrid, Blake Jackson, a big guy who can run. It's hard to check him. He's one of those guys that a linebacker isn't fast enough for, maybe a defensive back isn't big enough for. He has not gotten going yet. Oklahoma State was off this past week. Is that a focal point of their offense? Get that guy going and have another gun on display, another weapon for these Big 12 defenses to worry about. I think so. And that is a test for West Virginia's nickel and dime packages. K.J. Dillon, Darrell Worley, even Avery Williams, who got some burn last week. They're going to have their hands full with their multiple receiver packages. And also that big guy, Blake Jackson. What does he do? Defensively, you don't often think of Oklahoma State as being a defensive dominant team. And maybe that's not the case. But if you look at their roster, their nose guard Barnett, their linebackers, Levy and Lewis, their cornerback Gilbert, their safety Lowe, those are all conference caliber players. That's 1 up front, 2 at linebacker spots, and 2 in the secondary, in different positions in the secondary. They're talented across the field on defense. Don't blitz a lot, play mostly zone, although a little bit of man this year. 4-man front, not base, but not very exotic either. They're just really good at what they do. It's kind of been the Oklahoma State MO for a while. And then there's special teams. I don't know what to say about special teams that we haven't said already. It seems that they do something bad at the worst possible time. They've contributed 10 points in 1 loss and 7 points in another loss, and that has been a problem. If you think about it, 10 points that they gave Oklahoma, that was more than West Virginia's offense scored. 7 points that they gave Maryland, more than West Virginia's offense scored. Now granted, if your offense stinks to the level you're only scoring 17 points in your 2 losses, maybe your special teams are not entirely culpable. I don't think it's a lot to ask your guys to catch the ball, to not turn around and have it hit you in the face mask, to know the rules and understand that this is not a fair catch, and if you catch it, you might get hit. So who's in charge of special teams? That would be former Oklahoma State assistant coach Joe DeForest, who spent 11 years at the school, and I think maybe you read his name in Sports Illustrated last week. It's obviously a big occasion for him. What will happen? I don't know. Did the players press? I don't know. It's going to be interesting because special teams has become a story this year for a variety of reasons, and this is the next occasion. And by the way, Oklahoma State's really good on special teams. Gilbert, the cornerback, and Stewart, the receiver, are really good return guys. They score, they're dangerous, they're going to catch the ball and go. That's what Oklahoma State likes to do. But Oklahoma State has 4 guys in their team who have return score touchdowns. Nobody in the country has that. They have good schemes. They have good players, but they have schemes that get those players moving and put them in space to be dangerous. It's a challenge for West Virginia. I said the thing about are the players pressing, and that doesn't apply necessarily to the entire special teams unit, or solely to the entire special teams unit, I should say, but to the offense and the defense, and maybe even the coaches as well. Dana Holgorsen said in his press conference Tuesday, he thinks that maybe his guys are pressing. They're trying too hard. They're worried. And he wants them to have more fun. He wants them to play relaxed. Relax, I said. And he wants them to kind of bring it back to remembering it's fun and that there aren't necessarily dire consequences attached to every good play or bad play. I don't know how you do that, though. Do you coach it? There's not like a period in practice where you can go over that. You can tell guys how to backpedal and to swivel their hips better, how to wrap up and bring that guy to the ground, how to punch your hands better on the offensive line. Those are all mechanical, fundamental things you can do in practice. You know, being more spirited on the sideline, having fun on the field, feeling good about stuff, having a healthy verve. I don't know how you practice that. So how do you? I don't know. That's a great question for the week that you'll probably have answered Saturday. It's a focus for West Virginia. I think what you'll hear, though, is that practice was loose, was maybe a little bit more fun, a little bit more energetic. Maybe there wasn't constant stopping at every mistake to focus on it and to refine it. And you let guys make mistakes and play through, because that way you're not conditioned to fear the response of a mistake. You're not playing in fear of a reaction if you don't do something perfectly. And maybe things go smoother. And if things go smoother in practice, maybe that offense that does need to play quickly to have momentum and to be effective, maybe they get in that habit of playing well. Maybe some positive habits are reinforced. Maybe they go quickly. And then maybe during the game they can do that too. If you look at the pace West Virginia has used in the losses to Oklahoma and to Maryland, it's not the team you would recognize that's run up and down the field against Big 12 opponents and even non-conference opponents these past year and a half, probably even 2.5 years. West Virginia didn't play very fast in Dana Holgorsen's first year. Last season they did. This year they wanted to, and they just haven't been able to get it going. They have to find a way to develop that. Getting a first down, that would help. Converting 3rd and 1, that would help. But if you get that first down, you can turn a 3 and out into a 6-play drive, an 8-play drive, a 12-play drive, and then, oh my gosh, maybe you score. Maybe you get a touchdown in the game. Maybe you get a field goal. Good things to start happening. And then that pressure, it moves away a little bit. And maybe that dark cloud rescinds. And maybe you have answers about this team that right now satisfy the questions you have, because there are many questions, and West Virginia can't wait, I think, to take the pen in their hands and write the ending, or write the story at least, that they want to write, and maybe supply a different ending and then a different week to follow than what happened following Saturday's debacle in Baltimore, Maryland. Only one way to find out. Gotta watch Saturday. Normal week at the blog. Be there with a chat tomorrow, Thursday. Text from game day will be Monday. And in between, sure, why not? Friday feedback on Friday. And we will have the world-famous live post Saturday afternoon from Mountaineer Field. Can't wait to see you then. Thanks for joining me and seeing me today. See you next time.